Welcome to the My Blue Skies Music Podcast, where we dive deep into the power of music, creativity, and collaboration. I'm your host, Kate Dillingham, a cellist and composer, and founder of MyBlueSkiesMusic.com. I have some wonderful guests today, Thanu and Venu. They are my collaborators for the new project called the Resonance Collection. And just to give you a little introduction, I made an album called Ever Now, which is inspired by a practice of meditation. And I was performing, and I met Venu through a mutual friend. And Venu is going to introduce himself, but basically he fell in love with my music and approached me about doing this interesting project with healing stones. So I'm thrilled to offer this as a new way to experience the music of the cello, music of mine. It's my own composition, or shall I say improvisation, and to find another avenue in which to share this music and this practice with people through something so beautiful as jewelry makes me very, very happy. So I'm going to turn it over to Venu and Thanu. Please tell us a little bit about yourselves and the source of inspiration for this project.
Great. Thank you, Kate. I mean, it's a pleasure to be with you. And thank you for inviting us to your podcast. And I am Venu. And this is Thanu, my wife. We've been actually married for the last, 15 years now? Yes. Yeah. And I come from a background in gems and jewelry. So my family has been in this industry for the past 40 years. And I was actually handed it over once my father passed away. I looked into his business and his collection of gems, and we wanted, myself and Thanu, we decided that we wanted to take a different approach than the commercial aspect of jewelry and gems. And this is how we were looking into what kind of healing practices that they do with gems, because in our part of the world, gems are mostly used for its values for the human body, like what it does for your mental health, how it works astrologically. And this is why, historically gems have been used. So we wanted to bring that in, to our business. And our brand is Avianca. We do fine jewelry. And we've been in the US for the past couple of years. We're launching this brand. And then, as Kate said, we met Kate through a mutual friend, Barbara Pelle, and, we were thinking of how sounds interacted with the mental well-being and gems. And actually, that's how, I guess, we started this. And we've, launched handcrafted products from Sri Lanka with Kate's, visionary, the aesthetics of it. And, I think we can bring in a very good product where people can feel good after wearing it, not just look good, actually. That's what we want to do.
Thanu, tell me a little bit about your part in this, your role in all of this.
Yes. So Venu is the visionary. Venu has so many ideas all the time. So after meeting with Kate, Venu was so excited coming home. Venu came with this whole big idea about energizing the jewelry, and he was so excited to meet Kate. So as soon as Venu brings something, a big idea to me, my part is always how to make it happen, or how to create something of that idea. So all these big ideas is always ends up in my lap to create something, to make it happen. So I started thinking, okay, so what we can and how are we gonna bring this beautiful idea to the people. So it was new to us, but the concept, but the concept was not new. Like Venu mentioned earlier, in our part of the world, I'm a Buddhist. So so the first thing we do is the vibration. The monks used to chant water, and we always have some holy water in the house. If somebody's sick, we use it. If we think the house needs to be protected, we use that water. So it is a concept that we always had. So this is something so beautiful, something unique that, and I'm so happy to be part of this. And it's so wonderful to meet Kate and create this product. I don't want to call it a product. It's something so beautiful. It's something that we can give it to someone to make them feel good, make them to feel they're healed, and to have, and at the same time
Look good.
to look good. So we are so excited to do this.
Fantastic. Well, I want to talk a little bit about some of the projects we've done together. I performed both in New York City and in Baltimore for a small invited group of people, where I performed this music, specifically the tracks called Ever Now, or the album called Ever Now, and each one of them has a very specific sort of program to it in terms of its feeling and its energy. I encourage everyone to check out the album Ever Now, and if you purchase one of these lovely items from the Resonance collection, you will have your own track to listen while you wear your piece and think about what makes you feel good. And the particular track is called Crystal. Not the music came first, I should say. The music came first. It was released in 2024, right. And here we are, almost 2 years later, exploring a new process or a new creative interaction. And when we held these, I would call them sort of deep listening experiences, where we had a group of people. I played. Venu brought crystals and various stones that people could hold or observe. Some of them were amethyst, some of them were the rose quartz. These are the stones that we chose to do this resonance with, and I love the symbolism. I've been modeling them, and many people have been drawn to them immediately. Like, is that an amethyst? Is that a rose quartz? What? Tell me about that. It's beautiful. And then I get to talk about this kind of infusion of music into these stones, and eyes light up, and people have a very interesting response. Like, wow, I never thought to put those two things together. But I love what you said, Thanu, about looking good, feeling good, and that music certainly can cause us to smile, can cause us to feel a set of emotions, the energy that music gives us. And I think, rare stones or crystals can also create that kind of energy. And what a wonderful thing to put them together. So I think as we go forward, certainly on this platform, My Blue Skies Music, as people come to your site to purchase the stones, they will get a special doorway or portal into My Blue Skies Music, where they will get to hear their track that's associated with the stone. And going forward, we will be curating live events where I play and make these stones energized with beautiful sounds of the cello. So this is a very interesting project for me, and opens up a new way of creating my own feeling around what's meaningful to me. And you can probably see a little bit in the background, there are a lot of elements in my life of tools that make music, instruments that make music, beautiful objects that give me energy and peace and inspiration. And jewelry has always been a big part of my life. I love to wear it. I'm lucky that I'm a cellist because I can actually wear something around my neck. Not so much rings, but I can put things I can wear earrings, I can wear a necklace. And the fact that I get to wear it close to my heart, and the fact that the cello is close to my heart and really occupying a full like a whole nother being, it makes me feel very whole. And
Right.
So that's a little bit about what I want to say. And I'm already thinking about new music I want to create around this project.
I want to add, Kate, actually, where the crystals are coming from. We were so excited after we discussed how we're going to do it, what we create. So we actually made this. So we wanted to select the stones. We wanted to make sure that we are getting the natural, the most authentic stones for our this special collection. So we made the trip to Sri Lanka, as you know. So it was hand selected. The crystals were brought to one place. We saw where it was coming from, and it was created by the artisans
By hand, actually.
by hand. It's handcrafted by the artisans who have been there for generations. So
Yeah, actually, the guy who was doing it, he's like the fifth generation of the jewelers who did it, right? So he comes from a family that, when they gifted a teapot made out of, I think, silver to the queen. So that's the, lineage of the jewelers who are doing it. And the guy is actually 25 years old, but my family has been working with him for the past 40 years. His uncle. So like the entire family, has for generations have been in this business and in this jewelry making industry. And also the stones that it comes from, actually comes from one place very close to where Thanu lives in the hill country, the quartz, the rose quartz, and it's quarried, and it has a very natural process actually. And, we really, again, the suppliers have been supplying our family for the last 40 to 50 years. So we know exactly where those stones came from, and that they're natural, and it's on that higher state for this kind of endeavor, like for healing, for absorbing that vibrations. You need stones that are very unaltered, actually heated or anything like that. So this is something that we can guarantee of where the stones came up, the whole process from A to B, as they say, from farm to table. Like this is like from the mind to your mind, right? So we know the entire process, and that's something that we would stand by with this product.
Yeah, I loved.
I'm very fine. I don't know the word, but for me,
it's our new collection, the resonance collection. I would like to make it
not a product.
Not a product. Yes,
right.
Definitely, it's not just a product.
Yes.
Well, when we talk about resonance, I think there's a lot of scientific evidence of the energy of stones, the energy of music, whether it's a set frequency or it's a set process that happens in the earth over thousands and millions of years. Can you describe a little, when you said the hill country, I was really interested in that. What is the environment like where these stones come from? Is it mountainous? Tell me a little bit about the natural setting of where these stones come from, because I've never been there.
So Sri Lanka has been like famous for gems since from the beginning of time, because if you look at the what do you call it, the Asian plate, biologically it used to be connected to Africa, then you have Madagascar, and so you have the Indian subcontinent moving away in time. So it brings away the Sri Lankan island that was connected to India, and then once it hits to the Asia plateau, Sri Lanka slowly moves away. That's like the geological history of Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka is like 32 kilometers off, or 12 miles of coast of India, and has one of the most ancient soil, right? And towards the middle of the country in Sri Lanka, it's very mountainous, right? And it is famous for 7 or 8 rivers that starts from this area, right? And actually, it's for Thanu, she can see the mountain. It's a sacred mountain as well. They call it Adam's Peak in English. We call it in Siripad, and that's where most of the gem veins are. So that place there's a town called Ratnapura. So in English translation, Ratnapura means the city of gems, right? And it's beautiful if you can imagine, like Seven Rivers starts. It's absolutely green, tremendous amount of rainfall, and people risk themselves to mine these gems, and this is where, like, most of the sapphires are found in Sri Lanka, right? And if you move towards if from the epicenter of the Central Hills, if you move away, different areas of Sri Lanka has different stones, right? From precious to semi-precious, and you find a lot of garnets, you find a lot of quartz, like quartz quarries are abandoned, and then you have this rose quartz which is not as much as available as normal quartz, but it's quarried actually very close to where we live, and again, a very, very green area, and rose quartz is used. I mean, so if you know a stupa in Sri Lanka, like the religious stupa for Buddhism, they have a huge rose or a quartz on the top as the pinnacle of the stupa. And lately, I used to think why they have it, and you tend to ignore things, but this is to attract energy, right? Because the whole day, if you go to a Buddhist temple, they'll be chanting, right? They'll be chanting. Monks would take sessions of chanting, and this energy is absorbed and reflected to the society. That's the story behind why they would have this pinnacle and a huge rose quartz, sometimes 7 feet, 8 feet tall, and maybe around 5 feet in diameter on top of these stupas. And this is for that absorption of energy and to reflect it. So that's the nature that we both come from.
I love it. I want to sort of riff on that a little bit. When we carry something, a small version of that, around our neck or in our pocket or on our desk, for instance, in our modern world where we're continually receiving information, living at a very fast pace, certainly in a place like New York City, how can a stone or a piece of music sort of inspire us or take us beyond, right? The idea of transcending or going beyond what we see, what we experience on a sort of day-to-day grind level, right? We all experience that, whether it's a commute to work or it's whatever your daily routine is. How can we inspire people through music and the healing stone to maybe think a little bit more about the process of life and sharing those daily experiences with more graciousness, with more gratefulness, with more joy. I took a walk this morning and I went around Central Park, and I was reminded, thinking about the music that I created and this connection with you all, that there are universal sounds and vibrations happening all the time that we are on some level aware of, whether it's conscious or unconscious or even subconscious. And I feel that the desire to own a piece of jewelry or have a stone that's really meaningful, whether it's on your ring or it's on your necklace or it's something that you pray with or meditate with. This is something really unique and kind of mystical that has been used in all sorts of ways, whether it's a religious or it's a faith-based thing, or it's an exchange of gifts or a source, a symbol of commitment. I really have had a chance to ponder this a little bit in the time that we've been working together, and or I should say playing together, because it feels more like play than work right now. And what a special place to be, to think about gifts of the earth. These are truly gifts of the earth. You have to dig around for them. They don't just like wash up on the shore. You have to search for them. And much like searching for a cause or a why in oneself, these symbols or these elements can be part of that journey. So I'm thrilled. I'm so excited to be opening this door in my own sense of perception about healing vibration, whether it's a combination of music and stones, or it's sometimes for me music and food, things that nourish us, things that are gifts of our beautiful and seemingly infinite planet, which it's not, but the gifts that it gives are infinite. So to bring it back down to earth a little bit, literally down to earth, I want to ask you guys, so what do you feel would look like success for you in this arena? What do you imagine people taking away from this, either gift they buy themselves or a gift that they give to another person? What's your what's the feeling you want them to have?
You want to go? You want me to go? I mean, so CK, like as I told you, my father, he's Indian, and he came to Sri Lanka for business and for these gems. And what he always said was he was more or less a collector than a seller. So he used to collect these stones, and he used to tell me in the morning. So when he's frustrated or he's tensed, he would go to his room where he has these stones and he looks at them, right? Which brings him a lot of calm. And it's he used to tell me, believe me, I used to like mechanics more. I used to see something in a car and I used to play with the cars, but he used to tell me this. And like if you look into a stone, it's like looking into yourself. There's so many inclusions, right? There's so many facets. The way the light falls, the way the light reflects, it's like looking into a human's mind, right? It's very dense. If you look at somebody in the surface, you would just see eyes, skin, nose, and mouth. But if you go one step forward, you start talking to a person, you would discover a lot. If you talk to an hour, you discover so much more. Sometimes you can fall in love, and sometimes you can hate the person. But the stone is the same thing. Like there's so much to it. People look at a gem and try to find out try to find something that has no inclusions in it. And if a stone does not have an inclusion, it's not real. It's like a fake person, right? It's something natural. It's supposed to have inclusions. It's supposed to have air bubbles. It has to have that imperfection to it to be real. And that connection that a person could build with a gemstone, right? And we are not just gifting something that is going to be here for the next 20, 30 years. This has been under the ground and created with immense pressure, right? Stones are created with immense pressure under the soil, right? That's how these chemicals come together. It's like a human who has gone through the test of time, right? It makes you harder. It makes you see things beyond. So you're gifting something of the earth to a person that would be there for actually eternity if you take care of it, unless you really try to break it. But still, it breaks into crystals. It never breaks into anything else, right? So you're gifting something to a person that is a part of this earth, which has every little thing that this earth has in such a small, compressed, jewel, right? And the energy that it absorbs, it's not just the energy of outside. It's been absorbing the energy of this planet, right? Which we are created of as well. Our ancestors are created. When we die, we become soil, and the soil is what's turned into these gems, at the end of the day. So it actually has everything that this earth is supposed to offer us. So having that close to you, I think brings more than bringing the stone close to you, become more closer to the planet, right? And that's what I think. I think we are gifting the planet, right? And the most beautiful thing is sounds. If you look at the Indian history, you talk of Lord Krishna, who used to play the flute, and they say it was so enchanting to listen to him play the flute, right? Even the trees were enchanted by the flute, that vibration. And I think we are bringing all
in the
that.
modern world, we have Kate with us now.
Yeah, exactly. So in the modern world, we have people like Kate, bringing that music, bringing that sound vibration. It's not music, it's the vibrations that we feel close to and what plays to our heart. And, combining the two, I think, Kate, we are doing something phenomenal, actually. It might look simple. Most simplest things are phenomenal, right? Like the sun coming up in the morning. It's not magic, but if you really think of it, it is magic, right? Right? This big ball of sun coming up in the morning, fire coming up. So we are gifting people a part of this earth to be close to and to be grounded. I think that is a very a gift that we can't put a value on.
And I would like to add, because that's why we wanted it to be, as we discussed, to have a limited collection, because we didn't want it to be a mass factory produced piece of jewelry. So Kate will be we will have, so the first collection will be limited 35 pieces, and it will have its own music played by Kate. So it will be energized. It will be played only for those tones. So once we finish with our first edition, the first batch, so the next batch will be all new, and it will be again played a different music piece by Kate. So it will be always something special, and it will not be always something. Yes. So
one more thing, Kate, I wanted to add. You were telling me the other day about your fingers. A cellist's fingers, and I suddenly remembered. I looked at my jeweler, and I sit next to him, and I make movies when he makes. And if you look at his fingers, he used the file a lot. And I was telling him he doesn't have to file his nails because he's almost filed his fingers off. So the amount of when you do something with hand, and especially also in our part of the world, they use very minimal equipment to make this thing, right? They burn their fingers a lot with this hot metal, and it's the effort that goes into it, and it's phenomenal. Like everyone, like you and everyone puts this effort, even from the point where they mine, right? It's a lot of physical effort that people put in to bring this, and that's why they gift it to the temples. When they get this phenomenal, large stone, is because the effort that goes in when you do something. So from the earth, they take something, they for the blessings they would give it to the temple. So it's a cherished thing that gems are.
I love that.
It's phenomenal. The effort that people put into. I wanted to give that credit to the jeweler as well. I speak to him, and we work together. I mean, it's a lot of work that they put in to get these things to you. And
absolutely.
To us.
I think that I wanted to just say one other thing about the craftsmanship or the craft of both of these disciplines, whether you're learning an instrument, practicing an instrument, performing on an instrument all your life, or you're crafting a beautiful piece of jewelry that is going to be worn by another person, another human being. I think craft is something that is a little overlooked in our modern world. It's something that people deeply desire. When we find something that is really special and unique, we gravitate toward it. In a world where there's a lot of, mass-produced stuff, whatever it is, life can look very much the same, very homogeneous. And what draws me to this project is how unique each piece is, and that it has a unique stamp of the craftsman, unique stamp of the earth, shall we say. And you use the word inclusion, but each what we might consider a fault or a imperfection, I love that word, imperfection, is actually what gives it life, what animates it. Yeah, and in music, for instance, we often strive for perfection in our performance, and a perfect performance is often not as moving emotionally as one that maybe isn't so perfect. And what drives us to play as artists is the pursuit of that perfection idea or ideal. But I think what's more important is that you're pursuing a way of communicating with an audience, something that's deeply universal in what it's conveying, whether it's an emotion of sadness, an emotion of joy, a melancholy. We don't even use that word anymore. Something that's a bit of both, right? Joyous and sorrowful. And certainly the cello is the, I would say, the ultimate instrument of showing that melancholy. So on that note, I might play a little bit for you so you can hear the sound of the cello, the sound of this platform, My Blue Skies Music, which is, I have to give my little promotion here, is a platform that Kate, invented and designed for music performance and live events on the internet, with the best quality audio available, and audio is always prioritized. So that is another project that came out of the period of time that we were all locked down during the pandemic. And just to give a little bit of background, I started this practice of meditation, transcendental meditation specifically, during that time, which was kind of a miracle in itself that I was able to do it and learn it. And it was difficult at first, very difficult to sit quietly and with all the thoughts going through my mind, and fear and apprehension, and how am I going to survive, and what am I going to do if I can't make music for people, teach people, do the things that I normally do. And that practice helped me find calm, helped me find purpose, and consequently opened some doors for me in my creativity that were not open before. Caused me to create a whole album of improvised music that came from me, or I was the vehicle for, and then this inspired you, brought you toward me with this beautiful project of resonant stones. So I'm going to play a little bit for you and show you a little bit of what the platform sounds like, what the cello sounds like, and how I envision or hear the sounds of these stones. Oh, I wanted to say that amethyst, I believe, is described as clarity in one word, and rose quartz, the other, is about love. So I'm wearing the rose quartz right next to my heart, and the amethyst a little closer to my brain.
Beautiful.
Thank you all very much for this beautiful conversation, and for sharing your gifts, and for, say, inspiring this beautiful project. It's very opens my heart in ways that I'm excited about. So thank you, audience, for being here today, and I hope you'll check out Aura by Exorti on the Avianca. Am I saying it correctly?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I should let you say it.
It's avianca.com, yeah.
Yes. So tell us we'll run the website and the various promotion that we're doing. And keep an ear out for the collaboration between My Blue Skies Music, Kate Dillingham, and Aura by Exorti, the Resonance Collection. Thank you very much, and see you next time.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you for inviting us.